All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on our PMA Talks webinar on building a career in cloud. Thank you for making time out of your busy schedules. We understand that it's the middle of the day. Everyone probably has to go to work, so we're going to try to keep this as concise as possible. As you know, this is going to be recorded, just an FYI. Before that, just a few housekeeping notes. I am going to try to mute everybody as they come in. There's another person coming in right now. I will try to have everybody muted. If you do have questions, we're going to try to keep that to the end of the webinar. Or you can unmute yourself and you can ask. But throughout the call, you can also put it in chat if you have any issues or questions. I'll try to address them as and when they come in. But yeah, that's it for housekeeping. I am one of your hosts, Armani Araujo. I am one of the co-founders of PMA, and of course, we are joined by Prashanth Madhi, as most of you probably already know and are here because of Prashanth. And of course, our guest speaker, Siva Balasingham, who works as a cloud security specialist at RBC. So that's my part. I'm gonna hand it over to Prashanth now to get us started. Prashanth, go for it.
Thank you, Armani, and thank you to everybody that have joined the call so far. And I'm looking forward to more participants joining us later today, and all those that are watching as well. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to check us out and kind of, giving us your time to give us some knowledge about what on earth is cloud. So what we're going to talk about today are something very simple, right? So next slide, please. Yeah. So last time we talked a little bit about what is cloud computing. So last time we talked about what is cloud, what are the common things that are use cases, and some of you joined us in taking a course with us as well. And we went through a full course about teaching you guys AWS. This time, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about different types of careers within the cloud platform. There's a bit of a misconception of what exactly cloud is. So we're actually going to do something really cool towards the end, which is actually showcasing you a little bit of a live demonstration what Azure portal is like. You heard it. We are introducing Azure. We're going to talk a little bit about the different cloud certifications that are available, which is going to be somewhat familiar from the last class, as well as what's going to be familiar now. And of course, what are the type of opportunities, right? So there are folks that are in the management side, there are folks that are technical. So this presentation is meant for folks that are supposed to be all platforms. Whether you're technical, whether you're non-technical, I guarantee you there'll be some tidbits that you can take away. And of course, we are more than happy to take questions at any time. We have email addresses. Armani has his own, and I have my own, and Siva has his own. So we are available to answer any questions. Without further ado, I kind of wanted to move on to the first segment. And, the folks that have attended my previous call always know that I like to do little surveys. So just so I want to understand, what are you guys hoping to understand from this presentation? So we have about another 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes to go. If people can just take a few minutes to type it on the chat so we can kind of tailor based on the requirements. Because I see a lot of familiar faces and some faces that I have not seen in a very long time. I'm talking about you, Sammy. I think Sammy and I go back a very long time ago. So wonderful to see you there. And a lot of family folks and then people at my previous job. So excellent. So take the time to type in on chat. What is it that you're hoping to get out of this session? So I do see new folks that are joining in. So this is more for you guys to kind of get an exposure to the type of opportunities in the space of cloud computing. I'm still waiting for some responses to come in, but I will go ahead and go through the next slide while folks are typing in. So this is your chance to kind of give me some input on what exactly that you guys are hoping for. Okay, that is brilliant. Thank you, Dean. I will try my best to address that. Keep coming in with questions, folks, and we will continue. Next slide, please. Okay, so while folks are putting in their inputs on what they're expecting for this presentation, kind of wanted to take back to a slide that I kind of posted last time. So why is cloud computing so important, right? So if you look outside, cloud is everywhere. If you have an iPhone, if you have a Google phone, cloud is in the background. Cloud is literally everywhere that you see, but I think there's a bit of a misconception of what exactly it is. It is not just dedicated to storage. It is not dedicated to a VPN or something. Cloud is a lot more than that. So what cloud is doing is literally changing the IT sector from where it was like 10 years ago. Honestly, I should say where it was yesterday. You are introducing a new concept that everybody understands, which is artificial intelligence. They're coming into place. Cloud is evolving. But the important thing, I think I'm going to address Dean's question, is the roles, right? The roles and responsibilities of what things used to be like 5, 10 years ago are changing every single day. So it is really important to keep up. And, folks like, Dean, who's a career coach, perfect. So I'll take Armani as an example, right? So I like to use him because he's awesome and he does so much more than what people understand. He is a student that graduated from York and he's kind of figuring out what his career path is supposed to be. So we'll talk a little bit about the different type of roles, and cloud is definitely a place where you can kind of kickstart your career. Next slide. Oh, sorry. I apologize. So one of the things that I do wanted to, previous slide, sorry. One of the things I do wanted to highlight were the bottom section, which is the job market. I placed this exact same slide last time, and the job numbers has increased. And honestly, this was not rocket science. This was literally me putting in a place online that says cloud engineer. Those are the results that came in. And you can go back to the previous presentation, but what I'm trying to get across is the job numbers are going up. So folks that are in Scrum Masters, folks that are in coaching or networking or databases or anything, you'll have more opportunities moving forward. Next slide. So previously, we talked a little bit about AWS, right? So AWS is something that is common to Amazon. And AWS is a whole bunch of certification that'll help you kind of get to where you are today and where you want to become. One thing I do want to stress out is there are different types of career paths related to AWS. So let me correct myself, AWS plus other cloud providers such as Azure, GCP, and so much more. But if I have to summarize the top 3 folks in the market right now, AWS, Azure, and GCP. And they're all more or less similar. If you have a management background and if you want to have an understanding of what AWS is, you would do something on the fundamentals that understands the services from end to end. Again, if you are high level, you don't want to go as deep, stick with leadership type courses that kind of tailor you into understanding the fundamentals of AWS. So this course, which Armani took along with a few other students in our previous offering, and where they learned about what is cloud, different services. And again, this is very, very high level. If you want to go deeper into the technical things, you do something like solution architect, developer, system operations administrator, or data engineer. Again, depending on what your role is and what your interests are. For example, I can tell you that Armani and I have different interests, right? He wants to go very, very deep in solving problems. I want to solve bigger problems at a bigger scale. So we have different paths in terms of what we're doing. And you'll hear from Siva like shortly where this applies in the Microsoft side of things. So this is not a new slide. This is something I wanted folks that are joining us for the first time today to kind of have an understanding of what this is. Next slide, please. So I like doing polls, and it is what it is. There's going to be a poll that's going to pop up. I do want to understand from the X level of participants that are online right now, what are you guys, what is your knowledge? I wanted to understand, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to learn? Are you experienced? You're just here to support? Do you have crazy number of experience? I wanted to see a poll. I believe, Armani, I think you're the only one that can see the polls. But just give us a rough summary of what people are mentioning so that we can kind of have an understanding of where things are at the moment. And I do know a lot of folks did promise to come in a little bit later because of conflicting meetings. But yeah, if you have some numbers, Armani, we can kind of talk through it. But just wanted to have an idea of what is your understanding, what is your knowledge in cloud, and why are you here? Okay, so we have about 5-6 people that responded, and perfect. Okay, that's what we wanted to hear, right? We're not expecting people to be experts, and it's nice to have that learning capacity in terms of wanting to learn cloud, and that's what we're here to do, right? So we'll go talk about what our company does and all that stuff later, but I want to make sure that we get some good value out of the next, 20 to 30 minutes that I have your attention for, right? And obviously, we will have time for questions at the end, but I want to get into the meat of the conversation. So I have the pleasure of, next slide, please. I have the pleasure of, I interacted with Siva multiple times over the last several weeks, and he had a passion for teaching, learning, and he's experienced. He's got some pretty cool logos on his belt as his CV, right? If you want to know what Siva does, you can go online, check him out, and all the things that he's worked on. But I wanted to kind of, set the stage to Siva to talk a bit about his background on where he was and where he is today, and his passion for teaching on how he became a Microsoft certified trainer and what he's here to do for the next little while. And the folks that did join, there is a live demonstration, which is pretty cool because I would stick around if you have the time. So over to you, Siva. Please tell us a little bit about your background, your interest on cloud, and why you are here with us today.
Thank you, Prashanth, and guys, everyone on the call. My name is Siva Balasingham. I came from Sri Lanka, as you know, my name. It's a long name. And I started my schooling at Carleton University as a BSc in Integrated Science, and I worked in engineering field, engineering support roles, and part of a design support role as well at Celestica. It used to be part of IBM, and I was there for 7 years, and then I moved on to AMD for a year. I was part of the engineering team as well there for board fabrication for ATI. At the time, ATI was being bought by AMD integration, and I was part of the main board production and support role I was doing. And from then on, I moved on to the service area at Acer. I was there for 11 years. I was supporting the enterprise in downtown Toronto as part of the field services support. I was a manager there, doing the support services to bring in new businesses and supporting the existing businesses to keep the business going for Acer. And then I moved to 1 year contract role. I used as an automation consultant. I was at Sanofi Pasta, and I was doing Siemens automation projects for a year. From then on, I moved to RBC. That's currently I'm working as a cybersecurity analyst. My passion for technology was simply I have kids who are in that field also. Recently, son just completed his engineering degree at McMaster University. He's in the technology field, working on that field. And I have a daughter also there. She's at McMaster in finance. And I have another kid also. He's in high school now, about to get into U of T or Waterloo for technology as well. So my passion's always been there for them as well. So I wanted to pass it on to people who are joining on the call, making sure that the technology is understood the way it's supposed to be understood, right? So my cloud journey started not too long ago, actually about 6, 7 years ago. Started in some training of some organization to corporate training for some of the user base on how to onboard a company into Azure portal, and then how to do the access provisioning and provisioning of the other resources within the Azure, and how to access it, and how to actually onboard it, and then continue to support the organization. And then part of the application, also supporting the application that the organization needed to onboard them into, and then giving access to various groups on external users and internal within the organizations. So I was part of that, and then I continue to use it in the cybersecurity application right now within the cloud. So
Yeah, that's brilliant, Siva. Let's move on to the meat of the conversation. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, the Azure roadmap.
yeah, so basically anyone who is interested into learning Azure or any kind of cloud is basically nothing more than a resource on demand, right? So basically, conventionally, you guys been using on-premise, a little laptop or device, physical device that you use to log in and access your applications or anything like that on your premise, right? Basically on your home. So So what the cloud does, the beauty of cloud is that anything that you have on your on-premise device can be virtualized into the cloud, which is the built-in infrastructure that is already and capabilities and resources that are built into the Azure cloud, or either AWS cloud, any cloud, right? So they have their on-demand um, ability to lease or subscribe a service, which is the resources, right? Let's say, for example, if you want to onboard your company onto your Azure cloud, you can do so, right? Let's say, for example, you have 10 people in the company, you want to build a new company there, you can borrow your resources, right? You don't have to go and purchase the device, different places and configure all these things. So basically, what you have is you have a custom built capabilities within the cloud that is there, and all you have to do, you sign up for it, and then you use it as you go along, right? It's basically pay as you go basis, right? So any resources, computing resources on demand. That's what basically is. So if you want to look for Azure cloud, you guys go into it. The first the track that you would be interested in is that I would recommend also the fundamental, right? The foundational of what it is cloud, right? What are the resources that are available within the cloud, and what you need to do to access the cloud, right? And then how to go about how the resources are offered within the cloud, within different data centers. It's nothing but so computing resources built in within the data centers around the globe, right, all over the world, right? So basically, wherever you are, that you want to subscribe some of those services, or uh, get the services that you needed within that cloud, you sign up for it, and then you go and access the resources as needed. You have to understand, when you submit or subscribe for a service, you only use and consume for the device the resources that you actually subscribe to. Nothing else, you'll be surprised, right? You'll be charged. So you pay as you go basis, right? That's what the case is. So you'll be studying the fundamental course of AZ 900, and then from now on, the AZ 900 talks about what the cloud is, how to subscribe it, and what are the data centers, all of the places, and how to subscribe it, and then just the internal architecture of resources, how to access them, subscribe. So from that on, and then you move on to the second track, the certification called AZ 104, which I have I'm certified on for the last 3 years, which I have used this certification to get my MCT status. Every year, you have to do a certification assessment on these particular exams. Anything any new additional material that is added within that track, within the 104, you have to get that assessment and recertify again to get this certification going, right, for MCT status. So second certifications. Third one is, you can go into, if you wanted to go to data science, there is another path called DP 100, and then you have a solution architect, which is the higher level, which is ASET. You have to do two exams there to get it, right? So if you wanted to go to security path, there are security path. And if you want to go to SAP workloads, which is different enterprise specialty exams that you write, and which is AZ 102, or you can go to IoT developer side, or you can do virtual Windows desktops, right? VDIs, various VDIs options there within AZ 140. So these are the certification tracks that that are available within Azure, that you can subscribe and get yourself trained. And there are resources, the free resources that are available online, as well as if you sign up for it, and then you get $200 of credit that you can use up for to use the resources within Azure, and you can practice your your exams within it, and then log out as you need it, right? So basically, so until the $200 is up, and you'll be able to continue it if you can pay the subscription, right? So that's about this for track. And next slide, please. So these are the career rules, the careers that you can build with this. For example, You have different various types of roles. You have a cloud DevOps engineers, cloud architect, which they design and implement different resources, infrastructures, and those are the cloud architects. And then cloud specialists, which is the same roles, similar to roles with less responsibilities, how to manage them. And then the backend developers do they develop different resources, customized resources for the organization. They can deploy that. And then cloud security analyst, which is resource management, right? So you can build your own applications. You can um, they manage the security controls that you have within their applications that you manage for various groups within the organizations with the security roles. And then cloud administrators, which is the overall provisioning of different resources within the organization that you actually control for the organizations, right? So it's whether it's going to be adding a new users, if you have an organization that is growing and you wanted to administer different resources, these are the people like will be cloud system administrator roles, which is the same as close to similar to support engineers. Support engineers role is they design, implement a little bit different higher level from system administrators, and then they have data engineers. They use the data integrity or optimize, kind of like optimize to access the AI capability within Azure. And then you have cloud consultant. Also, they do cloud consultant. They also provide um, business applications that are implemented for the businesses, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so these are the various common use cases within the cloud that anywhere, uh, like pretty much you see all the video streaming platforms are run within the clouds, file hosting, any kind of file that is data that is being accessed by the users from externally, they are hosted within the cloud. And then they have a secure storage of the personal data. So there are data, personal data that are protected with encryptions. And the financial institution, they use these things, and different organizations, they have their own protected personal data of customers, and they are protected within their cloud. And they have backup solutions. There can be backup solution of anything that for the corporation needs, that is also hosted within the application. And there are chatbots which are built within the cloud environment for the help desk purposes or any kind of interactions or help kind of things. Next slide, please. So from now on, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into log into the live demo of Azure, and then I'll show you guys how an instance within an instance means the tenant for an organization, how it is created, which I have already created it, and then I'm going to show you how to navigate to different resources, how to spin up VDIs, and how to connect to navigate to the console. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen to you guys. Just a minute.
And as soon as you start sharing, Siva, I will stop just so there's no confusion there.
Sure.
And I just wanted to say we appreciate you guys spending your lunchtime here. So thank you so much for dedicating the time while you guys do the screen share. Yeah, just want to recap for folks, like, Azure is one of the many cloud platforms, and there's different career paths that are kind of involved in this. So I think one of the things that I think we can see Siva's screen. Yep. So we'll take questions, and I know Dean and Sam, you have very specific questions. I'll try to address them a little bit later. But for now, I want to take the time to go through the live demonstration because I think it's pretty cool to see what on earth cloud is. So what Siva's going to do is we don't have to show me. I see myself. Sorry. So we can go through the demonstration of Azure, and that would be fantastic, Siva.
All right, thank you very much, Prashanth. So what I have done is I've already created a tenant. Tenant is basically any organization that they want to onboard into cloud. We call it tenant. So every company that comes into cloud, they have to identify their name and unique organization ID, which I have created. If you can see this is the organization ID that I onboarded when I created this. This is uniquely identified for our organization entity, right? So by default, every domain name will have we'll have a onboard on Microsoft.com, and then you can customize it if you wanted it, and then this is the intra ID. So this is the company that I actually created. If you wanted to create it, this is already created. If you wanted to create it, for example, and onboard within the Azure environment, you onboard a company, you create a tenant like this, just to be. It is a limited capability that I can have it. Say Microsoft Azure AD is being renamed lately. It's a Microsoft Entra ID. That's how we call it right now. So Entra ID means like basically this is the environment, this is the AD, right? Cloud AD. So this one has a limited capability. That's why I can move into this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you exactly what I created before. Just a minute. So these are the resources that I have already created it. And for example, I'm going to show you how to resource. Like for example, these are all the. This is I'm logged into internally. This is actually the actual Azure portal that I'm navigating, right? So if you want to look at my login ID there as Balasingham at outlook.com, this is my default ID login. So once you're logged in and you create it, and you'll have once you create a tenant, you will be the person who created the ID, the organization will have a global administrator role. So that person has the complete control of the organization, right? Whether you wanted to bring up a different organization, any kind of resources, add new users in the company, providing them, creating them different various type of groups, and then put them into groups, and then they have specific role within that groups that you assign the role. Those some of the capabilities that is already built into it, right, into the Azure. So, for example, I'm going to show you. Okay, I just want to show you. For example, if you wanted to create, this is my VDI that I already created. I just want to spin if you guys wanted to see it. You see that? It's already created test environment. I just want to connect it and then connect. Download, which is downloading it to RDP. I'm RDPing it from my browser to cloud environment, which is the VDI where I created the VDI.
So folks that are wondering, VDI is virtual desktop.
Virtual desktop interface. Yep.
So if I have to kind of summarize what Siva is doing is there's a whole bunch of resources that are available in Azure. So what we're trying to do is kind of show you like bits and pieces of what Azure's capability is, right? So if you think about databases, there are different types of databases that are available to utilize. There are different types of virtual machines that you can utilize. There are different types of load balancers. So what you see on the left side, Siva, do you mind going to the dashboard, the homepage where you see all the services?
Yeah.
That is
so
a
basically,
good.
this is all the resources are there. You see, if you look at the dashboard there, these are the entire front. So you have a different. These are my resources that I have already used. We have VFBT, we have virtual network. I have created it. These are type of virtual machines I created. Storage account. If you wanted to create your storage, basically store the data, or database can be within the storage account. And they have a test IP that I created this, and then network security groups resource that I created already, and then test VNet virtual network I created already inside there. Then various type of roles. I mean, if you wanted to provision different type of resources, you can go and do so, right? So there's an app store that you can see. You see that? If you go into here, you have a quick tutorial of all of these. So if you wanted to go into there, it will take you to the Microsoft website to learn a particular area, right? So the virtual machines, you see a PDF files there. You can go back to the resource.
There's so many resources, and we cannot potentially go through this on this call. So that's what the courses are there for. But basically what Siva is trying to say is there's a lot of possibilities, right? It is not just storage. It is so much more. And that's why we are kind of, going through these courses and certifications and things like that, right? So there's a lot to learn, and which we cannot do in the next 10, 15 minutes. So yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to guys going to go into, let's say, for example, I'll try to VDI this, just try to spin this video. 1 second, VDI, 1 second. Can you guys see this password prompt? See it? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you guys see this video that I connected?
You're sharing your
You see it?
browser, not your thing.
Okay, let me share the other one though. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Stop
So
share.
these are like properties of a VDI. So what you just saw was a list of properties that's associated with a virtual desktop. So what you're gonna see is the VDI actually being created in the background. You're actually like seeing it. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I already connected it, so yeah, it's already connected
We
here.
can see your screen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's you're seeing this one, right? This portal here, right, you guys?
You, you're not sharing your screen, Siva.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring up. Hold on. Share.
It's
Okay,
me.
can you guys see this?
Yep, I can
Are
see
you
your
able to see this?
browser.
Are you able to see this now?
Just your
The
browser.
video? Oh, okay, browser. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. So I was able to see this. I'm not sure why it is. Okay, so what else are I? So I need to go back again to.
That's okay. We
So,
we can showcase this at a different one. So there's a
yep,
few more
yep.
things to kind of cover as well. Yeah, let's go back to the presentation. Armani, do you want to take over the presentation? Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Because I'm just mindful of the clock.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry, so I will let you finish up. Back one slide, yeah.
Oh,
Do you want to wrap up the slide, Siva, and then we can
Yeah.
move on to
Let
We're not
me
seeing the slides. Oh, there we are.
yeah. So basically, so from this time on, once you log in, this is the live demo I did, and this is the actual HTTP site. Anybody who would like to access this is the access portal website, and then you subscribe it, log in, and then the live demonstration that presented to you, right, to access, and then create the via resources and the tenant for the organization, and then adding the users to the organization, creating a different application groups, AD groups, and things like that. All going to be there. Okay.
Cool. No, that's brilliant. So thank you so much, Siva, for giving us a bit of an overview of what Azure is. So, this is always our presentations are going to be a little bit technical, a little bit fun, a little bit more interactive as well. So I'll get to a little bit about what we do. So PMA stands for Professional Masterclass Academy. We actually rebranded based on some feedback that we received at University of Toronto. And we put a lot of work the last little while just to kind of bring in some meaningful content to everybody. So our mission is changed a little bit, but more or less the same thing. So our mission is to empower individuals to attain professional excellence and cultural growth, right? So what that means is we want to give you courses and knowledge that is required to become better professionals or change your lines and things like that in order to kickstart your career. So the programs are run very, 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 very tailored. So we are, a lot of us are full-time and we are juggling a bunch of different things. So one of the things that we are doing is, use case-based study. So we're not, going to do topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. It's more like, here's a problem. This is how you solve with Azure. Here's the problem you solve with this particular thing. That is what our courses are trained to do. And obviously, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're reinventing the way that we are teaching. So scheduling wise, it is more flexible. So we are working around people's calendars and whatnot. So again, it's more about your availability and what works for the instructor and us. In terms of the coaching side of things, I'll get to in a little bit. I'm a little bit excited to announce this because even Siva doesn't know this. So we are introducing some partnerships with companies and things like that as well, which we'll talk about next. I wanted to kind of announce this in this call, and this is the first time anyone's hearing about this, is we have partnerships. We've partnered up with a company in Prague. They are called European Center for Career Action. I'm not sure if anyone here is from there. If you are, just wave at us or something, so I know you're from that channel. So essentially, they're a company that is, they're a company that are located in Prague, and we have a similar kind of goals in mind in terms of connecting employers and creating programs that are beneficial for the employment industry. And I also wanted to kind of partner up with Luki. Luki owns Focus Inspired, so he's essentially has his own coaching program, and he's one of my ex-senior managers from Deloitte. So he's got his own build of career coaching and things like that are happening. So essentially, like, at some point you will see Luki here. We'll have a presentation and kind of go through that. So their appropriate websites are available. You can go check them out and what they offer. And, I can validate based on my interactions with them, and they are solid people. Luki is an ex-Deloitte senior manager and has been in the student community. We've already done a collaboration with the University of Toronto. So back in February, Armani, myself, Praveen, and Suraj, we went into a course. We taught a course on cloud computing specific to ERP. So ERP stands for Enterprise, and I always forget the short form. What does it stand for? ERP, Enterprise Resource Enterprise Resource Platform, I believe. Am I right? Am I wrong? Anybody?
I think you got it.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so I did. I wasn't okay. And I have planning. All right, planning, enterprise planning resources. Correct. Yeah, so I have a presentation with the University of Waterloo in September. So it's a conference I'm going to. I'm representing myself and the company as well as, students. So we are interacting with about 100 students across Ontario that are in the 3rd or 4th year engineering. And we're putting together a presentation. I'm doing a presentation, but it's a conference specifically for 3rd and 4th year students. A lot of exciting things that are coming way. But what I wanted to kind of leave you guys with over the next 5 minutes, next slide, please, is the following. You guys have seen this before. We have Azure, we have Praveen that is teaching, but Praveen's taking a little bit of time off, but our prices are not changing for this one. But we are introducing a few more things into this pool of things, and we wanted to introduce Azure. And obviously, right now we see a screen for Siva, but Siva is there, I guarantee it. So we are kind of helping people kind of learn this. And, of course, there are courses out there and training and things like that. But we have a guy, right? Siva has unlimited resources from Microsoft, and we can use that. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to say is we're trying to figure out how to be partnership with Microsoft so that we can be affiliated, so that we can actually do more of this. We'll have more instructors and things like that happening. So instead of offering 2, we can offer many. That is kind of the goal of PMA and other things. And of course, these guest lectures are going to be free for the time being, and the more folks that we have, the more value that we can bring. And this is going to be available on YouTube as well. Next slide. I do want to kind of focus on a few things right now, right this instant. And Siva has kindly offered his time to teach these courses for the price that's dedicated below. And we are opening enrollment starting May 6th. So enrollment means go on our website, pmacademy.com, and there should be a way to register for these courses. And we are offering a quick $25 off if you follow us on 3 social medias. We are trying to grow our social media. So essentially, LinkedIn is our primary, Instagram is our secondary, and we are going to have content on YouTube as well. So as we kind of grow into a company and things like that, we are planning to do a lot of things here. So we would love your support here. And that's pretty much most of what I have to cover. And next slide, please. And we are coming up with some new things as well. So sometime in May, right now we've chosen 23rd, but please follow us and subscribe to our newsletter so that we can keep you in the loop. When I talked about these things, a lot of people were interested in, doing a talk with us. And I'm like, you know what? I have way too many people that want to present as opposed to listen. Let's do a fireside chat, right? There are folks on this call who couldn't make it that actually said, hey, I want to do it. So there are folks that are industry, they are experienced, they're smart, they're knowledgeable. So I am going to bring them in from time to time, is to showcase, what are the trouble problems they're solving and how you can get into all of these things, right? So that is something to look out for. And I wanted to take a moment to address Dean and Sam's question is, we talked about careers, right? So the biggest thing I would say, Dean, is in terms of helping clients is to understand what type of doorway they want to go into, right? So if they want to be technical, if they want to be business. If they're technical, they can go as deep as solution architect, which is like the top of the food chain where they go high. Or you want to be hands-on developer that just wants to just do stuff. Or you want to be someone like me who looks at high-level pictures, solving problems and working with the team. End of the day, we need all 3 kind of people plus a lot more in order to get a job done in the tech industry. So I would say in terms of helping clients better is to understand what they want. Armani is a perfect use case, right? He is, graduated, he's ready to roll, and he's learning, and he learned AWS with us. And hopefully when he moved to Azure, he'll learn a bit of that as well, because he wants to do, I don't want to speak on behalf of Armani. Actually, I love putting him on the spot. What is it that you would like to learn, Armani? You knew this was coming. Because I know that the reason I want him to share is because, you can talk from a student perspective, right? So I wanted Dean and Sam to kind of understand this. So what is it something that you would want to be, 5 years down the line?
Right. I've always had this sort of interest with dealing with people. And I took computer science, so it's like developer slash people, right? And while I was studying, I also worked as a support technician. And while people can be annoying, especially people who don't understand tech, it's always fun to interact and just to get to know people. So I realized that I kind of want to do a system administrator role that connects to the cloud. And just being part of PMA has kind of just reinforced that feeling for me. So in the next couple of years, I'm looking to go more down that path of, learning whether it's AWS, GCP, or Azure. I want to get these certifications so that I can do these administrator roles while also actively, meeting people. So I don't know it 100% yet. I don't know exactly what I want, but the role that I'm doing currently at PMA is working out to be perfect. So I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what the life brings me and just enjoying the ride, I guess, for now at least.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. Dean and Sam, does that answer your question in terms of steering people? Yes, no? Is there follow-up questions? I think we can open it to, so before I open the floor for questions, note this down. There will be things on, thank you, Sam. So note this down, and next slide, please. So we always like to, end off in a good note. So if you don't mind just following us on some social media. So we have these cool little QR codes for Instagram and LinkedIn, and we have a SWOT survey. A few questions, like nothing too crazy. So we would like to understand, how we did and if there's anything improvement and things like that we could do. But I do want to kind of take the time, we have about 10 minutes left. I did promise I will be done on time. So we have 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to ask myself, Armani, Siva, or anyone else on the call for any questions that you might have related to cloud, PMA, or anything for rather. It's open discussion, and we'll keep the recording going for another 5 more minutes if people are okay to stay online, and we can turn it off towards the end so that if there's any questions you don't want on camera, we can do it offline. So yeah, questions time. Sam, I want to ask you, did we answer your question? I know you were very specific about careers in cloud. I know we talked deep, but did you get what you were asking? If there's follow-ups, I'd love to help you in any way, form.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I got what I wanted. Thank you so much.
All right. If I understand, Sam, you're playing more of a Scrum Master role, right? Like right now?
Yes, that's right. Scrum Master.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For Scrum Master is a pretty much similar role that I'm doing, but so fundamentals is your base, right? If you do the digital leader for Google, fundamentals for Azure, fundamentals for AWS, that'll give you the foundation you require in order to be an effective Scrum Master. If you want to go deeper, because I know you're technical, you studied software at once upon a time. If you want to go deeper, you can go to solution architect. So my goal is I'm not a solution architect. I am more on the digital leader side of things. So, but I do want to get a little bit of understanding. So I'm trying to learn a little bit of both, so that I can kind of help people and companies and whatnot the right way. Yeah. Dean, did my response help in terms of coaching clients and folks, or do you have any follow up for us or anyone?
No, it's good. And I like the couple of slides around the roadmap, the Azure roadmap. That was good too. I could definitely, guide clients that way. I'm just wondering, and you mentioned AWS last time, or you did a presentation, but is anyone more, like any platform more important than the other? AWS, Azure, or
I love
is
this
it to flip a coin? Like,
I love this question, Dean. So let me kind of, do you want more of a personal question? And okay, I'll do both. I'll do a corporate response as well as a personal response. End of the day, they're all the same,
okay.
right? They're buckets, this, that, etc. So I learned this from Siad from TD Bank. He told me they're literally all the same. If you look at banks and folks like that, they prefer Microsoft because they're in the Microsoft ecosystem, right? But AWS has been around for longer. It's a lot more mature, and there's a lot more availability, scalability in AWS. End of the day, some companies do multi-cloud, right? So you have Azure, AWS, and GCP. Functionality, they're all the same. It's depending on what organization, what they want to do, and why. Some organizations don't like Google so much because of the open source concept. There's a lot of open source policies. Some organizations love Azure because of the whole corporate suite that they get and the discounts and the benefits and stuff. One of the things you have to know is the more resources you utilize, the cheaper it becomes to the organization for the billing side of things. So it's really like if you're brand new to cloud, 100% flip a coin, right? There's really no right or wrong answer. It's what you're comfortable with. Like some people like the Azure interface, some people like the AWS interface. Personally, I like all of them, right? I would love to, you get very more complicated. So some organizations, they're not synchronized. So they'll have some teams do Google, some team to Azure. And when you go in, you're like, this is complicated, right? Managing one platform the right way is complicated, but managing multiple platforms in two different ecosystems and having them all follow the same protocols, it is very complicated, but it's not impossible, right? So that's where consultants like myself and folks in the consulting field come in, is to figure out where these gaps are and help eliminate and help these things. So it's literally flip a coin. Armani, if you don't mind, do you mind going to our website? So I do want to take a moment to highlight our website, which was developed by Ayman and Armani. So a lot of work has been done by Armani. I do wanted to focus on something. So Armani, do you mind going to the courses page?
While he does that, Prashanth, can I just a follow-up question? Then, so
please.
if I have a client who, say, maybe has Azure experience and knowledge, and they see a job they want, but they're asking for AWS, it doesn't sound like that's really a showstopper because the fundamentals are the same. It's just the intricacies of the one tool over the other, the one platform or the other. Is that true?
100%. So here's the thing, right? When you go deep into a specific tool, you will understand what the equivalent of is, right? It's like doing project management from telco to banking. It's the same stuff. But it's just like, banking might use different tools. Like, for example, we use Clarity. Here we use Salesforce. It's just like that. It's transferable. But the thing is, they prefer people with the same background. So in terms of the understanding of the nitty-gritty details, if you have someone that already knows ins and outs of Azure, it's easy for them to configure everything as opposed to someone that is new to like AWS. So it's just a comfort zone and how quickly they're willing to learn. So that's why I say learn the fundamentals on all, right? So if you learn all three, you can mix match and focus on one and go deep into it, right? So personally, I've chosen AWS to go deeper, but I've chosen the other rings. So I have, some certifications, but it's like, you're right. Like it's a matter of, the comfort zone and the need of the organization, what they're comfortable with.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of showcase this one, Armani. So scroll down. So Armani built this page, by the way, from scratch. I wanted to showcase on our website, we have all of this, but click on Plan Your Journey. Plan Your Journey kind of gives you a little bit more in-depth, Dean. So this kind of is directly taken from AWS. There's no copy paste. If you scroll down, this talks a little bit about like, solution architect, the different career paths you need to do to get where you want. So I didn't go through this in detail because we'll spend a lot of time talking about this, but this is kind of what I talked about, right? If you want to be a solution architect, go through that path. But if you notice, everything has the fundamentals. Cloud practitioner is the fundamentals for everything. And that's what Siva talked about too, like the 2 courses we're offering, it is kind of branching out into a lot of different things. So this kind of gives you a good details on the different career paths. And, Armani talked about system administrator. So obviously different certifications are related to that, right? So if you want to be a cloud engineer, test engineer, there's a lot to learn. Like the possibilities are infinite. And I can only imagine what happens when AI is being introduced, right? That's a whole nother ballgame altogether.
Prashanth.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, if I could stop you really quick. I just wanted to let you know that one of our partners, Luki from Focus Inspired, is actually on here.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know if he wants to talk. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, no, perfect.
Hello.
Thank you for that. Hey, Luki. Can we switch back to the slide with Luki's name on it? So I kind of want to highlight this. Thanks, Luki, for joining. We kind of just went through a bit of an overview of what PMA is, and I talked about the partnership that we were trying to do. I wanted to also introduce Dean. Dean's actually an ex-TD employee. He's also a career coach as well. So Luki, maybe take 2 minutes to kind of talk about just briefly about what you do, and so that people can understand what is it that you're offering? What type of career mentorship are you offering to the citizens of North America for the time being?
Sure. Thanks, Prashanth, for hosting. And so I'm Luki. I like to say that I found my purpose helping others find theirs. So my platform is Swike, stuff I wish I knew earlier. I'm a huge advocate of soft skills learning, and that's the stuff that I wish was in the school system. So I'll share anything from communication skills to how to network, to mastering your mindset, to learning how to learn. So those are all the things, and I have a whole human skills toolkit and have started the career confidence gym, right? So it's unlikely that you'll go to a 60-minute session on communications or how to network or mindset, and then you'll be good. Just like you can't really go to the gym for 60 minutes and be healthy, right? You got to go back and do it again and do it again and work on whatever you're missing. So yeah, I typically help folks that are looking to to unlock their career potential. My past was I was a management consultant at Deloitte for over 12 years. And that's where I knew Prashanth. And yeah, I've since taken that to cultivate this new career in the mentoring space. So although I've been doing it for almost 10 years now, 2015 is when I left. But yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. So thanks, Prashanth, for the time. And if anybody's interested in connecting, happy to, oh, there you go. my LinkedIn profile is there. So happy to connect and continue the conversation if I could be of help.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Luki, for joining. And Dean was asking very interesting questions related to cloud. So I think Dean and Luki, there's some, synergies over there. Definitely Dean, he's worked at a bunch of banks and so much experience that he's got coming into the career coach. So Luki, so Dean became a coach after a good chunk of time at the banking side. So definitely go through the different paths. So yeah, no, thank you, everybody. We have less than a minute left, and this recording will be available online. Let's just flip back to the last page. So if folks can kind of just take a moment to follow us on our social media and do us a quick review, that would be fantastic. And again, we want to thank you for your time. It is almost, thank you, Sham. Thank you for the support. Thank you for coming in and spending 1 hour with us. And thank you, Siva, for offering your time to teach us this course, as well as for webinars and moving forward. So if you have any feedback, if you want to reach out to me, Armani, anybody, our information's on the website. So if you go to pmacademy.com, it is available, and our personal Instagrams and our professional network social media is available. So feel free to reach out to us at any time. Send us a direct message, Instagram, anything. I promise you, we will get back to every single question in a timely manner. And that is 1 o'clock. Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.